to welcome those of you who have been with us for a long time now, and as well as those who are new to the Anatolian Rover Challenge journey. I am Gizem Aktekin, the Secretary General of the Space Exploration Society, as known as UKET. I will be your host today. Without further ado, I would like to invite the Chairman of the Executive Board of UKET and Senior Astronautics Engineer, Mr. Süleyman Soyer, for the opening speech.
Mr. Minister, President, Rector, dear deputies and academic staff and our colleagues and our competitors. As the Space Exploration Society family, we are happy and honored to see you, our esteemed guests who gathered to witness this beautiful day, which is first in our country with an international competition. Welcome to Anatolian Rover Challenge competition, where the foundation of the 2028 Lunar Rover mission, which will be directly contribute to our country's national space program. We established the Space Exploration Society in Turkey, are commonly known as Turkish name UKET, Uzay Keşif Topluluğu. A year ago as Turkish youth, most of whom are high energy, young, qualified, and volunteer for the future of country and humanity. By taking the initiative to directly contribute to and expand our country's space studies and to be the planner and executive of these studies, we will make our country proud with the work we do and will always strive to do better. There is a word that I always proudly say the rulers and elders of our country. You set good goals for us young people on behalf of our country. Then sit in a chair and sip your tea and watch how good things Turkish youth have accomplished. We would like to take this opportunity to thank all my friends and UKET ERC members who contributed to this competition and our elders who encouraged and supported us. Congratulations to our country and our technical university on the eve of the 250th anniversary for first International Anatolian Rover Challenge. I wish success all participants. Thank you.
Thank you for your speech, Mr. Soyer. Up next, I would like to invite the co-heads of ARC Committee, Alperen Yazıcı and Bahadır Onur Güdürü, and head judge of the event, Işık Su Yazıcı, to give us an introduction to the challenge.
Dear Deputy Minister, dear IT Director, dear President of Turkish Space Agency, dear Congressmen, dear scientists and dear future scientists, and whole space enthusiasts, competitors and precious ARC volunteers. Today we are so excited for this organization. In the middle of 2019, we came together as a group of people to organize this competition in Turkey. This competition will be the first in Turkey and will be the best. And we started to form a team for rules and basics of this competition. We made a realistic scenario for tasks and teams. Every task has their backstory. Every move may become a real someday in space, in Moon and Mars, maybe. So my friends will be tell you these scenarios and the backstory of our tasks. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Bahadur. I'm the co-head of ARC this year. We have come up with the competition 2 years ago. The idea was it was at the height of the pandemic, actually. We were expecting teams not to come. Therefore, we planned it in such a way that maybe teams can send astronauts, like they send in the space station or any other space mission. So we thought maybe we can have two astronauts from teams, then they can travel here, do the competition within a hub, then use their rovers. So those people will be very qualified at their jobs, and they will be selected within their team. So it was organized in such pure basis. But the thing is, at the pandemic, we didn't know what to expect. So we planned it, and then we came to ITU. We thank Mr. Recruit here, since we talked with them. They accepted to do the competition here, but we were concerned about the coronavirus pandemic, so we canceled that year. The next year is this year. So we have shaped it to make it bigger. We have taken more support in their competition, so we grew in size. Then we try to make it accommodate more people, since the pandemic is now more in a resolved state for those kind of organizations. So we have come up with new ideas and new scenarios. Let me tell you some. First, we had the Mars. Obviously, most of the rover competitions are based on Mars. Because on Mars, we also know there are rovers in there. They're driving day and night to provide us with valuable information. So people want to be in a part of it. So being in a rover team qualifies you to be in a Mars rover team. So we shaped the whole competition around Mars first. Then we added Moon, because most of the agencies in the recent years, they have shifted their goal from Mars. Actually, the Mars is still there, but they focus morely on the Moon in the recent terms. So we have seen the Artemis missions from NASA. We have seen many ESA missions, and right now with the Turkish Space Agency, we also have goals in the Moon. So we have a Moon side as well. So we said, why not make the both? Then we organized missions there. First, let me start with Mars. On Mars, in the future, we expect humans to be there, obviously. But we expect humans not to be in a numerous fashion. We want them to be sent as soon as possible. Therefore, we might have small groups. So we thought about a 30-meter square a station there. The station is built. There are astronauts in there. Scenario starts there. Then there's a rover that's sent into a specific location on Mars. Teams are selecting their landing sites. Then, when they do the landing, they collect their precious scientific information. Then they come up to the base and then get into the airlock, give their valuable assets, their soil samples and everything to the team members. The team members here are the astronauts in the Mars mission. So with that similarity in mind, the astronauts will use these samples and they will analyze it. But the question is, when they analyze it, they have all the laboratory equipment inside, so they have many desks, many members working in a fast fashion. So we had to be in a hurry. Why? We thought we need a reason to do this in a hurry. Why were we doing all the lab work and everything in 1 hour? So we added a time to competition, introduce the time to competition, time limit. We added that there is a big solar storm, which happens time to time. And it makes it harder to go back to Earth, since the communication system is lost. Therefore, they have to send their data with a rocket. Actually, there are rockets in Mars that can return to Earth, and for those missions especially, we are planning to have 2. So one will be used to return to Earth by the crew, but since the communication has failed, they are using to send the soil sample back. So they're in a hurry, since there's a time window that the rockets can get up on. Since you are returning from Mars to Earth, you need a specific time window to get it off the surface. So they have the time limit. So we have 1 hour time limit in our Mars mission. So you need to refuel the rocket, you need to prepare the rocket and put your samples and all the data in it to return to Earth. So collect the sample, go back to the base, and prepare the rocket, then fly. So that whole mission in 1 hour time frame, this is our hardest mission, and it will be on the Mars side. When it comes to Moon side, things are different. Moon, we will be going to Moon probably more frequent than we go to Mars. So for the Moon mission, a rocket is going near a scientific station on the Moon, and when it's landing, there is a crash, so it makes a hard landing. So after the hard landing, there are some equipments on the site, so they have to be collected, and some astronauts are wounded. So you need to help them. But again, we need a reason for the rover to be autonomous. Since there are people in there, they can roll the rover, they can use the stick. But we need a way to block it, so again, we use that, we use the idea of having the communications lost again for the rover. So what we can do is we cannot see how things are going up there, but we can control the rover. We can send the command from the base, and it can autonomously search for the wounded astronauts and come back, which is an important mission since search and rescue is all about finding humans alive in the field. So this is contributing to other fields as well. So we shape the mission around this, around the subject. So you are going autonomously to find the wounded astronauts, and you are trying to help them. So this is our autonomous mission, and it will be on the Moon side. And we have one more mission for the Moon side, and that mission is shaped around helping those astronauts, as well as bringing equipment and carrying it on in different places. So this is not autonomous. This is used with a stick. Since after astronauts are wounded, they're helping them with the rover with their cameras on. So we have 3 missions. The second 2, the Moon missions, are half hour. So teams will be on the competition field for top 2 hours. So within that 2 hours, they need to perform their best. And most of the teams are here like 12 people, 15 to up to 15 people, and maybe 6, 7 of them will be on the base station, and they will control the rover. So it's a very challenging task since the rovers are built with a lot of technology, and they are building it in a year time frame. So most of the people here, most of the rover teams, are made up of students that are undergraduate students, and they are trying to, the things they learn in the class, they're trying to make them practical by building that machine. So to build that machine, you need first a scientific goal. So that scientific goal is coming from molecular biologists, geologists, and many more. So there's a scientist part in the teams. So they are thinking that we can go to that location and get that sample with that equipment, and we can analyze with several instruments, then we can get available data. When they set the goal, then the process starts. How we will fit those scientific instruments, how we will make it, fit it into a rover, and how we'll retrieve our data. So then they can come up with an idea of the whole rover. They're building the whole machine around it, right? Then they need the mechanical stuff to connect that to scientific instruments, and they need to connect it to electronical stuff. So you have electronical engineers, control engineers, and mechanical engineers, space engineers, aerospace, and many more fields. So as an astronautical engineer, I've involved for 3 years in these rover competitions, and I have learned a lot, I have to say, from all different fields. When we were building the rover, it was some of the part. And then we have to bring it to another country in one piece, somehow get it run on the other country. And it's also adding an organizational challenge, which is similar to what you're doing in a rocket and flying to Mars. So you have that organizational part inside as well. So rover teams are similar to small engineering firms. So I thank all of you that come here, all the 11 rover teams, come up here to Istanbul. Among 30 applications, only 14 finalists are selected. Among those 14 finalists, 11 made it here. So I thank you all for those efforts that you take all the year and come up here all the way through Turkey. Thank you very much.
thank you very much for being here with us. I'm Ishik, and I'm head judge and the coordinator of Judges and Rules Committee of Anatolian Rover Challenge. And I'm a planetary scientist and geologist, and my journey started being in a rover team. And we were participating into rover challenges, so I know how important being a rover team member when you're a student and your journey may continue. Not just me, but most of our organization committee of Anatolian Rover Challenge had such experiences. And when we try to arrange our rules and preparing our challenge, we try to think about what difficulties you teams may face, and as well as now I'm involving in real active missions, and so we're also trying to make it as consistent as possible to real space missions. And for that, also our Turkish Space Agency and workers in our space missions checked our rules, give us advices. So we try to be friendly for rover teams as much as possible to make your life not more difficult than it should be, and also as possible as like a real mission. And I hope you will enjoy your challenge here. Yeah, welcome again.
Thank you, Mr. Kayam, Mr. Güdürü, and Ms. Yazıcı for your speech. And I also want to thank all of the ARC committee and our volunteers and our supporters for their hard work and ambition. Our next speaker, I would like to invite the President of Turkish Space Agency, Mr. Sardar Hüseyin Yıldırım.
Sayın Bakanım, Sayın Rektörüm, Sayın Vekilim, değerli katılımcılar, hepinizi saygıyla selamlıyorum. I will make my speech partly in English and partly in Turkish. I welcome you all to this important challenge, Anatolian Rover Challenge. As we all know, we are now in a new space age. We are trying to understand what is going on in space very fast, and very important achievements are being done in space. And as Turkish Space Agency, we are trying to keep pace. We are trying really hard to keep pace with the space activities in all over the world. Turkish Space Agency is only 3 years old, but in this short time, we managed to unveil a comprehensive national space program. Last year, in February, our President Recep Tayyip Erdoğan unveiled this program, which has 10 goals to be achieved in 10 years. And one of them is a moon mission. The final phase of this moon mission will be approximately in 2029, with a soft landing on the surface of the moon, which will bring a rover, scientific rover, on the surface of the moon. So this challenge is the first in Turkey and very important for us. It is really in line with our national space program, so Turkish Space Agency strongly supports such endeavors, such activities, and I really congratulate all the members of the team of UKET to be able to do this first time in Turkey, and I hope it will continue. Now, shortly I will switch to Turkish. Değerli arkadaşlar, söylediğim gibi uzay çalışmaları dünyada çok önemli bir yer tutuyor ve uzay ajansımız da bu Milli Uzay Programımız kapsamındaki çalışmaları, bunlarla uyum içindeki çalışmaları desteklemeye devam edecek gücü nispetinde. Bu yapılan Rover meydan okumasının, yarışmasının tabii ki destekçisiyiz. Ben bir kere daha bu çalışmayı çok zor şartlar altında olduğunu biliyorum. Çünkü böyle bir şeyi ilk defa yapmanın ne kadar çileli olduğunu bilen birisiyim. O yüzden bu ekibi, yani UKET ekibini, yöneticilerini, mensuplarını tekrar tebrik ediyorum. Onlara destek olan, başta İstanbul Teknik Üniversitemiz olmak üzere, bütün sponsorlarını, destekçilerini de teşekkür ediyorum. Çünkü bunlar desteklendiği müddetçe olabilecek şeyler. Ve bütün katılımcılara da tekrar başarılar diliyorum. Hepinizi saygıyla selamlıyorum.
Thank you for your inspiring speech and your support. And next, I would like to invite the rector of the Istanbul Technical University, Professor Dr. İsmail Koyuncu.
Dear Honorable Minister, Head of Turkish Space Agency, dear members of parliaments, dear participants and students, dear distinguished academics and valuable representatives of the business world. Welcome to the Anatolian Rover Challenge, where the cornerstones of the rover vehicle that will be sent to the lunar surface in 2028 as a part of our national space program. As Istanbul Technical University, we are very happy to host this important competition. I hope that our students will make invaluable contributions to our country's national space goals with the projects they design and produce through the competition. The idea of holding this competition in our country was realized with the suggestions and directives of our Minister, Mr. Mustafa Varank, and Deputy Minister, Mr. Fatih Kacar. I would like to thank to them. The competition is organized by the Space Exploration Society, founded by a group of pioneering Turkish young people who represented our country in international space competitions during their student years and obtained various degrees. I thank them for this pioneering and inspiring competition. Dear participants, the competition in which the cornerstones of the rover vehicle to be sent to the lunar surface in 2028 as a part of our space program are laid, created great excitement all over the world. 14 teams from different countries are participating in the competition. Teams competing only in the artificial Mars field in the competitions held in the world will have the opportunity to experience the rover vehicles with the artificial moon field, which was established for the first time in the world. Therefore, leading countries working in the field of space attachment great importance to these competitions. Dear guests and participants, as you know, very important studies are carried out within the framework of the national technology move in many sectors where technology is used intensively, especially in our defense industry sector. As a research university, Istanbul Technical University played important roles in some of these projects and took part in some of them as executor. I think it is necessary to emphasize the following issue. Each project carried out as part of the national technology move, should progress by feeding from different fields and sectors and should result in the coordinated work of many scientific disciplines. To strengthen the domestic and national technology of our country, it is necessary to plan, monitor, and support such high achievement studies with a holistic approach. So, by ensuring the quantity of such competitions, awareness of our national space goals will increase, and over time, our students will become more interested in these areas from an early age. As the demand of these fields increases, providing human resources and brain power to the sector will become much more efficient. We would like to thank the Turkish Space Agency and TÜBİTAK Space Technology Research Institute for providing important support to our youth and the national space move with this important competition. I hope that our projects on domestic and national technologies will be the key to building a safe future for our country and our youth. I greet you all with respect.
Thank you for your speech and support. Now we will be having a 10 minutes coffee break. Enjoy and see you in 10. I'm so sorry, it was a misconvenience. I'm sorry. There will be another speech, and after that we will have a break. I'm so sorry. I would like to invite the Mehmet Fatih Hacı. I'm so sorry.
Sorry for the mistake. Dear Deputy Minister, you can take and you can speak for the Anatolian Rover Challenge. Mehmet Fatih Hacı is the Deputy Minister of...
Sorry, you have to wait for your coffee break for more than 10 minutes, I think. Actually, I couldn't inform the organization team before last night, because last night, I think it was 1 a.m. when our meetings were finalized in Ankara, and I could come to Istanbul and attend this excellent event and be with you today. Excellency, members of Parliament, Director, President of Turkish Space Agency, esteemed participants, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very pleased to be with you in this important event organized by Space Exploration Society and hosted by one of the best universities of our country, Istanbul Technical University. This contest, which lays the milestones of the path to Rover, the space shuttle to be sent to the moon within the scope of Turkey's national space program in 2028, raised great interest from all over the world, and we will fan these flames all together. And today's seminar on space exploration studies, which is the first step of this journey, will welcome many important speakers representing many organizations and institutions conducting international space research. During the next 4 days, our contestants will meet the opportunity to experience the rovers in artificial moon and Mars fields, which are built for the very first time in the history of the world. I wish success to all of our contestants attending from the UK, Poland, India, Bangladesh, Czechia, and Turkey. I believe that today's event is very meaningful and precious. I am indebted to Istanbul Technical University for bringing us together, as well as to Turkey's Space Agency and TÜBİTAK Space Technology Research Institute, which are the main shareholders of this organization. Esteemed guests, Significant budget is reserved for space research in the world today. It's expected that the global space economy shall reach more than $800 billion by 2030. Access to space is no longer a luxury. The space is no longer in the monopoly of only a few number of countries. Only global powers could launch space rockets in the beginning of 2000s, and it was costing around $500 million, whereas now the cost of space launching has dropped to almost $60 million. On the other hand, it's now possible to take images of the deep universe dating back to billions of years thanks to the James Webb Telescope stationed at an orbit of 1.5 million kilometers above the Earth. This project, which was started in 1996 and planned to be finished by 2007 with a budget of approximately $500 million, could only be finalized at the end of last year with a budget of $10 billion. I think this project shows very clearly that patience is a crucial factor to reach success in scientific research. Dear guests, Turkey has attributed special emphasis on space activities since early 90s. During the first days of our adventure in space, the emphasis was on the employment of communication satellites. Consequently, we developed a strong background in telecommunication satellite operations since 1994. Later in 2003, we started to utilize Earth observation satellite technology with the launch of BILSAT. Turkey currently operates 5 communications and 3 Earth observation satellites. On the other hand, we employed extensive effort to foster an indigenous satellite industry for more than 2 decades. This effort resulted in an experienced workforce and capable facilities, which allows us to design, build, and test multiple observation and communication satellites. We own and operate some noteworthy facilities like USET, which is a state-of-the-art facility that can be used to integrate and test satellites up to 5 tons. Another facility worth mentioning is OPMER, which is an optical manufacturing center for manufacturing large optical parts like mirrors and lenses. It's also used for integration and test of electro-optical payloads intended for space applications. The backbone of our satellite manufacturing capability is Turkey's TÜBİTAK Space Technologies Research Institute, in Turkish TÜBİTAK Uzay. TÜBİTAK Uzay is an applied research, technology development, and application-oriented institute, core competence of which is in satellite technologies in system, subsystem, and equipment levels. Various Turkish government organizations place trust in the competence of TÜBİTAK Uzay for developing their satellite systems. Our first optical remote sensing satellite, BILSAT, in 2003, was developed by TÜBİTAK Uzay in close collaboration with SSTL of United Kingdom. This was followed by the indigenous optical remote sensing satellites, RASAT, in 2011, and Göktürk-2 in 2012. RASAT and Göktürk-2 are still active in orbit and operated by TÜBİTAK Uzay and Turkish Air Force, respectively. Currently, TÜBİTAK Uzay is in charge of development of IMECE. IMECE is the high-resolution electro-optical satellite, and TürkSat 6A communication satellite, both of which we will send to the space next year. Furthermore, TÜBİTAK Uzay develops various satellite equipment like reaction wheel, star tracker, flight computer, GNSS receiver, power conditioning and distribution equipment, S and X band communication equipment, electro-optical payloads, and Hall effect thruster. These capabilities of TÜBİTAK Uzay, especially IMECE satellite platform, electro-optical payload, are drawing attention of international customers. Turkey has a long history of international cooperation in space technologies, starting from the early 2000s. We take part in many international organizations such as Asia-Pacific Space Organization, Space Cooperation Organization, APSCO, Inter-Islamic Network on Space, Science and Technologies, ISNET, to name a few. we conduct joint research projects with many European institutions under the EU framework programs. Esteemed participants, those projects have introduced tremendous experience in the public and private sectors, but we still felt the need to establish an organization that would be solely responsible for further advancing our space-related skills. As the President mentioned, Turkish Space Agency has been established on December 13, 2018, as a part of the national technology move with the decree of our President. The agency, which is an affiliated body of our ministry, is coordinating Turkey's space initiatives and representing Turkey in international arena. With the establishment of Turkish Space Agency, we have embarked on the work to launch Turkey's national space program, which constitutes the most important agenda item. Through the seminars and workshops we have organized, like the National Space Program Workshop in 2019, we sought the opinion of relevant public administrations, private sector representatives, and academics concerning space. As you would acknowledge, space programs have been embraced and announced at the highest level in many countries. In 1961, when USA had prepared its own national space program, the said program had been announced by the then President of the USA, Kennedy. The space program continued to receive keen interest from the President of that country throughout the history. As the Minister of Industry and Technology, we did prepare and submit the national space program to our President, which resulted in his full embracement of the program. And on February 9, 2021, our President announced Turkey's space program to the world. And he informed the world about Turkey's space policies, our vision, strategies, targets, and projects in this field. The National Space Program is a milestone in the empowering of Turkish space ecosystem. In line with the ambitious but also realistic targets we will set forth in the next period, we shall be continuing with our technology move. The Moon mission is the most important of our endeavors. Within the scope of the Moon Research Program, we laid a two-stage target for 2023 and 2028. By using our first nationally produced technologies, we will have established the first contact with the Moon. We will make a tough landing on the Moon during the first stage of our mission. I should say hard landing, maybe. We will initially engage in international cooperation in the launching of those. However, we shall also start working on our first own and authentic rocket mission. By 2028, we will have made a soft landing in the Moon. Landing the space shuttle on the surface of the Moon will pave the way for many scientific breakthroughs. The launching of a Moon program, through which the basic technology and the human resources of the space-related missions will be created, is a unique event of our country. Our ministry also works for the development of the relevant human resources in the field of space. Between 2002 and 2022, 277 TÜBİTAK projects and 55 individuals were funded with a total of almost 4 billion Turkish lira. Our policy aims to turn our country into a center of excellency. In order to reverse the brain drain and attract various scholars from all over the world, we have devised the International Fellowship for Outstanding Researchers together with TÜBİTAK. We have taken all the measures to attract the keen interest of our children in terms of space awareness. Technofest, the Aerospace and Technology Festival, which was organized in Istanbul Airport for the very first time in 2018, became the world's largest aerospace event in the history. We have taken our first step to the global with Technofest Azerbaijan, which was organized in May 2022. This year's Technofest shall be organized on August 30 to September 4 in Samsun, the starting point of our national independence war. As for tomorrow, we will be in Giresun for Technofest contests. Dear participants, the space competition continues fiercely in new areas such as the Moon and the Mars missions, mining and production activities, launching systems, the military and civilian practices for space technologies. The technology has matured so much that space tourism is one of our options now. In the space race, which involves a fierce competition, there is no one single barrier to us becoming a significant actor in this game. We have started producing UAVs and armed UAVs at the right time. We have taken the relevant steps for the national electrical car, and now we are proceeding to take our well-deserved place within the space revolution. As the ministry, we are supporting R&D and high-tech entrepreneurship in space and aviation sectors and lessen our dependency on foreign resources. We shall continue to realize all the targets set forth by the National Space Program through our capabilities available in the country, together with our affiliated and relevant institutions, and we shall contribute to the development of our country through high added value production. As I conclude my remarks, thank you for inviting me to this event, to this important and very successful event. And I also thank the organization committee for organizing today's activities with due diligence. Wish you all the best and success and a nice coffee break.
Hello again. I'm deeply sorry about the inconvenience, and thank you for the inspiring speech to the Deputy Minister of Industry and Technology, Mehmet Fatih Kacar. We will be having a break for 15 minutes. Now you can enjoy your coffee, and we will meet at 11. Thank you.
Hi, we are Project Scorpio.
Sevgili reji, diğer filmi de gösterdik mi?
Hello everyone, I'm Sai Kartik Brahma, the team lead of Anvesha.
Hi, we are Project Kratos from BITS Pilani Goa campus, India.
We are Team MST Mongol Bharta from Bangladesh.
Hi, we are Yıldız Rover team and welcome to Yıldız Technical University, Istanbul.
Hello, we are Team Rover Ova from VSB Technical University of Ostrava, and this is our rover, K3P4.
Hi, I am Beyza from Gebze Technical University Rover team.
Filmi alabiliriz. Konuşmaya devam edeceğim. Teşekkürler.
Hi, we are Project Scorpio.
Hello everyone, I'm Sai Kartik Brahma, the team lead of Anvesha.
Hi, we are Project Kratos from BITS Pilani Goa campus, India.
We are Team MST Mongol Bharta from Bangladesh.
Hi, we are Yıldız Rover team and welcome to Yıldız Technical University, Istanbul.
Hi.
Gebze Technical University Rover.
Hi, we are Project Scorpio. Hi, we are Project Scorpio.
Welcome again. It's great to see you, a lot of curious faces. We have shown you some of the team's reels. I hope you enjoyed while you're waiting, and I hope you enjoyed your coffee. And I'm sorry for your wait. Without making you any more wait, I would like to invite the Deputy of Ankara, Ms. Zeynep Yıldız, to moderate the technical session, Space and Moon Exploration in Turkey, with Burak Pehlivan and Burak Yağlıoğlu for their expertise on the topic.
Çalışıyor abi.
Tamam. Teşekkürler.
Then I'm starting. Hi to everyone. Actually, I find that this organization really important. I just want to start with that. Because now we are discussing future of Turkey, future of space, under the roof of our one of the most important universities, Istanbul Technical University. And also this is the first time that we are discussing rovers under the roof of Anatolian Rover Challenge. And the most important, the most crucial point, I think, is to discussing future of space with the Turkish youth on the international basis. For that reason, I would like to thank the all organizing partners, and I would like to start with that emphasis firstly. Today, as I've mentioned, we are here for discussing the future. And today I have two valuable panelists regarding our space missions. One of them is Burak Pehlivan from Turkish Space Agency, expert at Space Systems and Spacecraft Department. And the other one is Burak Yağlıoğlu from TÜBİTAK Space Technologies Research Institute, project manager of the lunar mission. In this panel we will have 40 minutes in total, and the last 10 minutes the stage will be yours. We will have your questions, and before that I will be asking some questions to my guests. And for each and every question you will have 3 minutes to answer. I think it's really hard to answer in just 3 minutes regarding your whole work, but we have really plenty of time, so we will have just 3 minutes for each and every question. And if you're ready, now we are starting. To be strict on time, it's better to start as soon as possible. First of all, I would like to start with Turkish Space Agency. And we know that there is a significant curiosity raising not only in Turkey but also in abroad regarding Turkish National Space Program. And we see that people are just focusing the recent developments in defense sector in Turkey, and they are telling us that you did that and you will do what you're planning in your national space program. We directly see that they have a really strong rely on Turkish national space program. We are attending some international organizations, some international congress, and we see that there is a huge curiosity about what Turkey exactly doing in that field. And under this scope, I would like to ask you what is the significance of National Space Program of Turkey and the Moon Research Program within it? What is the relation between establishment of Turkish Space Agency and National Space Program and Moon Research Program? Just have a small starting with this question. Yes.
Thank you for this event, and I'd like to thank all the organizers for this event. I think it will be beneficial for students, for graduates, and for researchers to have such competitions, and will have a much more improved interest in the space sector and space research in Turkey. With such events, our national space program has been prepared after the establishment of Turkish Space Agency. After 2 years of work, it has been announced by our president, Recep Tayyip Erdoğan, in 2021, and in 2022 it has been officially published in official newspaper, and when we look at the countries with advanced space capabilities, we see that first they have space agencies, second they have space programs that in a way summarize what they will do in the upcoming 5 years or upcoming 10 years, and they focus on their space program, allocate human resources, allocate monetary resources, and then persist on their space program. So that's how advanced countries with advanced space capabilities, United States, Russia, China, that's how they succeeded in their space programs. So we want to actually do the same thing in our way. So we want to set ambitious goals. We want to set goals that will challenge our human resource, but that can be achieved. And then by achieving these goals, we will not only develop technology or develop system, but we will also develop human resources. So we will have much better, much more knowledgeable engineers, scientists, researchers, lawyers, and every kind of technicians, every kind of human resource will be improved by the National Space Program and projects underneath space program. So Space Agency would like to have the space ecosystem flourish, and for this, National Space Program is a big opportunity, I think. That's all.
Thank you very much. Your emphasis on human resources, I think, is so crucial, because in order to make this program sustainable, we need first human. We need first youth. So your emphasis on the human resources is also really important. Thank you for your contribution. And I want to move to TÜBİTAK Uzay. And I think TÜBİTAK Uzay is a kind of memory stick for Turkey's space experience. And in this manner, TÜBİTAK Uzay is one of the key institutions through that path. And I want to ask you, what is the aim of lunar mission? And what is the role of TÜBİTAK Space Technologies Research Institute in the lunar mission? So stage is yours.
Thank you very much for your question. And I also would like to thank the organizers for this Anatolian Rover Challenge and inviting us to talk about our lunar mission and the program. Actually, the TÜBİTAK Space Technologies Research Institute, which is the TÜBİTAK Uzay, it is a Turkish name. I think our Deputy Minister made an excellent summary of the history of our space technologies development, and also our institute, the expertise and the field of activities. Since the beginning of 2000s, as a Space Technologies Research Institute, we are developing space systems and also the subsystems and software and many things, hardware, software. And we have been continuously increasing this experience and development, starting from the operating satellites, then to development of satellites and spacecraft, and subsystems, and then now equipment. So we cover, and also we cover almost all life cycle of a space mission, starting from the design, development, integration, test, operations, and image and data processing as well, and distribution of the data. So we have a tremendous experience and in terms of space technologies and also the development of indigenous systems in Turkey. Therefore, we would like to utilize this experience in this lunar mission. And in the lunar mission, this is the very first lunar mission of our country, Turkey, and here we aim for exploration of the moon first, which means that, okay, we haven't been there as a country, and there's a tremendous history of lunar missions all around the globe. In a way that we usually say in TÜBİTAK Uzay that these are small steps for the world, but big steps for us as a country. And so that's what we will try to do. First, we will develop a spacecraft. We will go to the moon. We will explore with plenty of payloads, like, for example, cameras, and there are also scientific payloads that we will gather data from the surface and the environment of the moon. And we will gain experience, operational experience, for the next soft landing mission. So maybe there are very much unknowns in this mission, and we will learn a lot. It's an advantage and a disadvantage. Its disadvantage is very difficult now because there are many unknowns. And uncertainties. It's a complex mission in that sense. But there is no failure in this mission because we will learn. So that's the advantage, maybe. So thank you. And
thank you for your contribution again. And actually, you said that it's a big step for us.
Yes.
And we really know that by heart. Actually, in a really short period of time, we are really capable of having big steps. Yeah. And actually, Turkish Space Agency is a really good example for that. Actually, Turkish Space Agency is one of the youngest space agencies in the world, but it's established in a huge experience. And now we are seeing the results of this experience. And I would like to ask Turkish Space Agency again, what is the significance of space studies and in particular deep space exploration activities? Because we know that countries might have some huge investments regarding space. So what's the reason for that? Yes. And do these activities lead to economic and technological benefits? Yes. So I would like to ask you that.
Thank you for the question. The short answer is yes. The space studies, space activities lead to both technological and economical benefits. Let me summarize some of the benefits. In terms of technology, we develop technologies not only benefit space sector, but develop technologies also benefit aeronautics. energy sector, defense. When we look at the space sector, advanced propulsion systems are being developed. Advanced thermal protection systems are being developed. And many other navigation sensors and many other equipments, subsystems and sensors are being developed that, that are also finding use in other sectors. So it's a spillover effect. So some of the technologies that are developed in space sector are also being used in other sectors. For example, NASA has a special web page, spin-off page, that shows the technologies that NASA developed, how the technologies that NASA developed spills over to other sectors. So it's very interesting to check and read that web page. So we can have such also gains from our space programs, technology spillovers and spin-offs. And in terms of economy, when we look at space economy now, by the end of 2021, the space economy reached 370 billion US dollars. So that's a very huge number, and it will reach over 600 billion dollars by 2030. And the growth rate of space sector is approximately twice the growth rate of world economy. So it's growing, and it is growing at a very rapid pace. So Turkey, with its young population, well-educated population, and broad vision, can and should benefit from space economy, should take its part from that space economy, should do more exports, should engage with international actors more to gain more benefits economically and also technologically. So that's actually our aim for National Space Program, and also as Turkish Space Agency.
Thank you again for your to-the-point answer. And we see that actually this space works actually kind of leading, space sector is a kind of leading sector for other technological areas.
Yes.
We directly understand that point from your answer, and actually that makes much more important for the working files regarding space. And thank you again for that. And moving from that point, I would like to ask Tübita Kuzay, could you please tell us about the scientific and technological benefits specifically for the lunar mission? What will our lunar mission bring to our country?
Thank you for this very important question. First of all, there are, as we said, there are science aspects and also technology aspects of our mission. If you start from the science part, although there are many missions going to the moon, or there were many missions on the moon, or over the moon and on the surface, they collected tremendous amount of data. But still, we need to explore the moon and its environment. As it has been discussed that the moon is becoming a attractive target for the exploration of the solar system, and it's just our neighbor, and we can go there frequently and make more understanding of our solar system. For instance, we have been in contact with institutions around the earth, around the world. They will provide some scientific payloads to us to study and discover for example, plasma interactions and also magnetosphere development in the solar system. Without with the bodies, there is no atmosphere. So this is very important because in the Earth, we have the atmosphere as a protective instrument, but on the Moon, on the Mercury, and on the moons of the Mars, for example, there are no atmosphere. And we need to know about the let's say, solar system and the medium, space environment medium, and its interaction with these atmosphereless bodies. So we will have such equipment regarding answering these questions. We will have maybe more resolution for the thermal environment development. As a rover developers, you know that the thermal environment is very important on the Moon because on the sunlight it's very hot, on the let's say nighttime it's very cold, and you need to make your rover survive. So we need to know about the thermal environment. And for the next mission, we are planning to land. Therefore, we need to know where to land. We need to select a very nice target to land. So that is possible to land, and also it is important to land. So we need to identify target places which has a scientific and technological meaning. Therefore, we will explore such locations with our cameras and other instruments that are nice targets to land for the next mission. And these are, let's say, scientific targets. In the technology part, there are many aspects. Maybe we will explain more with questions about the mission profile. But namely, for the technology development, this will be our, let's say, so-called first deep space mission. And we need to establish high-range, long-range communication, ranging, orbit determination, navigation, and also mission planning, dynamics modeling of dynamics, which means that orbital dynamics, and we need to control our altitude as well for precise propulsion system firings, and also orbit acquisition and maintenance around the orbit, lunar orbit. And at the end of the mission, we need to, or in the vicinity of the lunar orbit, we need to navigate precisely. So these are challenging aspects for any lunar mission, and we need to make it sure that we can cope with all these challenges.
After hearing such calculations in your work, I actually, as a lawyer working in this field, my regret on my not being engineer deepens. So you're so lucky that you're working in this field as a candidate of engineers, and I really want to make an emphasis on this. So you're on the right way, my friends. And by moving from the Moon, again, what kind of resources does the Moon has? And for that, for what purposes could these resources be utilized?
Yes, thank you. That's also another important aspect for Moon exploration. Between 2000 and 2010, important satellites have been launched by United States and India. These satellites, mostly remote sensing, but also impact missions, revealed that Moon bear important water content, especially on its south pole, and also several soft landing missions and missions that bring material back to Earth by China and by also United States reveals that Moon also carries within its crust important metallic elements. So elements that can be used for rocket propulsion, elements that can be used for building, elements that can be used for even machine construction. Iron, aluminum, and all other kinds of actually metals can be found on the Moon. So in the upcoming 10 to 20 years, Major space powers, United States, Russia, China, aims to build space stations around Moon and also lunar base on the Moon. So their plan is to utilize that resources through either manned missions or unmanned missions, and make the human presence on the Moon a permanent one. So they don't want to just go for tourism. They want to extract the resources, utilize it, and even return some of that resource back to Earth. So our vision should not be just going there and keeping it there. So we shouldn't stay behind the space race and also the second moon race that is going on now. So in the 1960s, we know that the first moon race was done by the United States and then Soviets. And those countries are now leading the more or less space race. But the second moon race actually has started. So, and in this space race, more countries will be engaging. Turkey should be one of them, in our belief. Thank you.
Thank you again for your points. So to be permanent on the moon is the key concept for us. And regarding this, actually, there is a legal concept saying that moon is common heritage of humankind. So your emphasis on this is a race, and Turkey will have a strong place in this race also. So regarding the concept of common heritage of humankind, also it's really important to be permanent on the moon, and we see the emphasis on, for instance, in outer space treaty and other some international treaties, the emphasis on the common heritage of humankind, and as a part of this humankind, Turkey has to have a really strong position on the moon also. So this emphasis is also really important. And now we are talking about lunar mission. So get deep into our lunar mission. What are the phases of our lunar mission, indeed? And also, can you please describe the technical details of our lunar mission? As I'm a lawyer, maybe it will be hard for me to understand the technical details, but my friends will understand really well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And legal aspects are very important for us too.
That's why I want to hear, yes.
In terms of our lunar mission, this is also a nice question because we can explore more about the technical details. First of all, there is of course a launch phase that we will launch our spacecraft after we assemble, integrate and test it and send it to the launch site. There will be the launch phase of the spacecraft. And it is one of the first survival phase of the spacecraft, so it needs to survive the launch environment. And then we will follow a supersynchronous transfer orbit. So we will take a conventional approach, and there is also low energy transfer or weak stability boundary technologies, but in this first lunar mission, we will follow a standard approach. So we will start from a supersynchronous transfer orbit, an Earth-centered elliptical, very high altitude elliptical orbit. And we will follow a sequential phases of thruster firings. So we will raise this transfer orbit, and we will make our spacecraft gain energy. And then we will follow 3 firings. The first firing will be performed by the hybrid propulsion system, which is developed by a Turkish company. And the second and third one, we will have another propulsion system, and we will make the firing of this propulsion system to raise the orbit And then the final one will be the escape maneuver to escape from the Earth's gravity. So this phase will take around a few weeks, maybe 3 to 4 weeks. And within this phase, we will establish communication and we will commission all the systems on our spacecraft to make sure that everything works and we have the control of our spacecraft. And then after the last escape maneuver, we will follow the lunar transfer orbit. And we will follow maybe 3 to 5 days of long journey to the moon. And after we reach in the vicinity of the moon, we will enter into the sphere of influence of the moon. And then we will, when we get the closest point to the moon, which is the apollune, perilune, in the perilune, we will make a brake maneuver to get in an orbit around the moon. And again, we will follow maybe 1 or 2 weeks to commission our spacecraft after gaining a lunar orbit. And then we will acquire the mission orbit, which is a polar, circular, or lunar orbit at 100 kilometers of altitude. And then we will collect image data, as we explained in the previous question, and also try our systems and commission our systems in lunar orbit in the first phase. And then after collecting data and extract data and download and do our missions, finish our missions, complete our missions, and we will follow a deorbit maneuver. We will perform a deorbit maneuver, and we will go into a, let's say, hard landing trajectory. But in this phase, we would like to try a kind of guided deceleration. So we will try to brake in a control way, and maybe we will select a target, and we would like to impact into that target so that we know that we can control our spacecraft and we have the proper guidance, navigation, and control systems. And this will be an operational experience for the next soft landing mission. And then in the crash point, we also would like to enjoy it through viewing it from the ground telescopes, but we will try. So,
Inshallah, we hope so. And moving from that point, you talked about the hard landing, and actually this is a preparation for a soft landing.
Yes.
Moving from that point, I would like to ask, because we are gathered here for talking about the rovers. And by the year 2028, we are planning to have a rover on the moon surface. So a lunar rover is planned to be landed on the moon surface as a part of second phase of our moon mission, lunar mission. And what will be the contributions of Anatolian Rover Challenge in this perspective? Because we all talked about human resources and on the other parts. So I would like to find your opinion in this perspective.
As we are here for the Anatolian Rover Challenge, we need to tell how important it is really. It's a very good question. Thank you very much. So first of all, let me try to explain in a way that when we develop systems, and especially any system actually, it doesn't have to be a space system, we always have stakeholders like users, operators, developers, and also we have environment. So we can also consider environment as one of the stakeholders actually, because although it doesn't make a decision, it always has an effect on our, as an external body. So by having such challenges or competitions, first of all, we need to know, how can I say, we have a, let's say, hands-on experience of experiencing all such things. We think about users, we think about operations, we think about how to develop the systems, and we also came to know about the environment, which we don't have any control of it. And in addition to that, of course, we will have human resource development in terms of that, but here the main, I think, question is human resource development. The important part is that you will know what is really important and what is really not. because we can make calculations, we can make any estimations, we can make guesses, but on the field, we face the reality. So this is the most important thing as a experience development and also human resource development. And you also, I think, shared many responsibilities within your, let's say, teams, like management aspects, technical aspects, funding aspects. So these are all real-life problems that we face while we are developing spacecraft or realizing missions. So as I said, the important thing is that you get to know what is really important and what is really not important. And for the next mission, with these challenges and competitions, we will prepare our rovers and landers. We will know about the real challenges of designing landers. We will know real challenges of designing rovers, making them survive in the environment that we don't have any control of it. So this is very important in that aspect, I think.
Thank you very much. And to sum up, to finalize our panel, I would like to ask you that first of all, actually we are a part of international community, and also we have this is a really hopeful thing, international participant also. And I would like to ask you that could you please describe the current discussions going under international organizations regarding moon exploration and deep space exploration? Because we are part of this international community, and we need to define what they are thinking first and figure out Turkey's position after that.
Thank you for the question. Under United Nations, there is a special committee for space discussions, Committee on the Peaceful Use of Outer Space, that is mainly responsible for management of space-related issues. Turkey is an old member of that committee, and Turkish Space Agency and other related ministries and organizations are also participating in the activities of that committee. When we look at the international framework, there are 5 basic agreements governing space activities, and one of them is Outer Space Treaty, another Registration Convention, another one Astronaut Rescue Agreement, another one, and maybe most important one for our discussion today is Moon Agreement. When we look at Moon Agreement, Turkey has been party to the Moon Agreement after 2010, I think, and by becoming party to all the United Nations basic treaties on space, basically we said to the world, okay, we are open to international cooperation in space. We are open to developments in space, but we want basically peaceful cooperation. So we don't want conflicts in space or wars in space or on moon. So that's how we approached the issue and became a party to the Moon Agreement. The downside of that situation is that none of the launch-capable countries so far became party to the Moon Agreement. So they don't want to resign from the possibility that they will appropriate some resources, or they'll establish some bases on the surface of the moon on their own national interests. So they don't want to resign from that possibility or resign from that right. So they want to keep that right. But that could bring some additional conflicts to the utilization of space, to the even utilization of resources or other things on Earth. So that could bring some issues on Earth. The way we use space could affect the way we develop cooperation with each other. So the thing is that we need to maintain space as a peaceful environment, and we need to read not only the words but also the soul of that agreements. So we need to keep space environment peaceful, open to all nations, irrespective of their development, and also we need to respect the rights of all nations on the celestial bodies. So be it Moon or Mars, other celestial bodies. And under COPUOS, Committee on the Peaceful Use of Outer Space, there is renewed interest on space resource issues, and in particular lunar research activities. Recently there has been a new working group established under COPUOS on the space resource working group, on a space group on the space resource and their utilization. So countries are trying to find models, possible ways to utilize space resources and do it in a fair way, do it in a legal way to all nations. So that's my comments for this question. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Actually, the peaceful usage of this space is maybe the most critical concept while it comes to space exploration, because we see that in outer space treaty or in the Moon Agreement, there is a strong emphasis on peaceful usages of the space. So your emphasis on the peaceful usage of space is maybe the most critical point of the panel. So yes, we try to do our best regarding space and the Moon exploration, and we are doing that with cooperation with international community and also for the peaceful usage of the space. Then stage is yours. Now we are waiting for your questions to our honorable panelists. So now stage is yours. We are waiting. If you have question. Yes, please.
Thank you very much for your question. I think that's a good point to elaborate more. For landers, actually, they are different from the space or satellites that we are up to now. We were developing satellites that will, image the Earth or provide communication services. They were just satellites. But now, when we talk about lander, their requirements and the requirements are different, and therefore the systems that we need to think and design are different. I think I missed one point from the last question. Users, I named users, and users have different requirements. So we should identify the use cases, and in this, for example, challenge, the judge is the user, and the rover teams need to convince that the judge can make use of these systems. So the user or use case is different in terms of lander. So we have different requirements, and we need to develop different systems. So what are they? First of all, for landing, we need to have a very nice, let's say, arrangement of the systems such that we have the center of gravity as close as possible to the let's say, to the moon, so that we will have a kind of more stability in terms of landing. So we need to have propulsion systems that can decelerate properly, which means that because we will consume lots of propellant, for example, we need to think about thermal issues within our spacecraft. And with this, we need to align our propulsion systems, tanks, and other like thrusters and their propellant systems differently than the satellites that we used to develop. So we need to know the operations and requirements within this landing stage in terms of control of the spacecraft or lander. So this is the control part. But at the same time, we need to navigate and we need to communicate properly with our system. As there is a distance with the moon and Earth, we cannot do it from the ground because there is a 1 or 2 seconds of time lag, and we need to make everything autonomously because we will not have the response time to, get the data, telemetry and information and respond to that and send the command immediately. So we need to make everything autonomously. To do that, we need to have reliable navigation systems as well while we are descending. So in terms of that, there are things that we need to, the use in our spacecraft, such as maybe like LiDARs or let's say range measurement systems. But currently, we also need to think about the vision-based navigation systems. For example, in our first spacecraft, we will have one vision-based navigation system that it will take images from the surface and it will calculate its location and the altitude of the spacecraft. So these are necessary things that we need to have in terms of landing. And also, while we are landing, we need to think about, we have to have, let's say, landing systems so that we will, it will absorb the touchdown, and also it will host, for example, a rover. So we need to think about housing systems and also the deployment systems of the rover to the surface safely. So these are maybe new challenges, and also for a lander when we think about compare it to a satellite, and also of course thermal issues, because in lunar day is around like 14 days, and also which means that lunar night is also 14 days. So we need to think about like thermal protection of rovers. We need to think about its mission operation times, survival, and etc. Though there are many things, but maybe I should sum up.
That was a really fruitful explanation. Thank you very much. And we have one more question.
Already over time, but thank you very much for a nice panel. And I would like to specifically thank you. It's hard to believe that you're not an engineer because the questions that you have been asking is incredible. So I have 2 questions for Dr. Brock. First of all, since we are mostly students here, what are the opportunities for students in TÜBİTAK Uzay Research Institute? First question. And second question, the base of this panel that I understand, it's the main difficulties the Turkey space program will already face, is to guess or predict the difficulties during this mission. I think if you are trying to find a solution for these difficulties, then you came with the ideas, especially in the geology, earth sciences. You know, picking landing site, it's one of your primary goals. True, or the right picking site will be the primary target because of the landing success. So if you don't know geology and earth sciences, I'm sorry to say that it won't be successful. So if that's the case, where is the geology or earth sciences in the institute? Is there any base, or is there you know, where the earth science stands in the institute? And taking this opportunity, and I'd like to thank you for all over you guys, especially for Anatolian Rover committee member, everybody that involved in this first, and hopefully will be ending successfully. You know, thank you, and I'm really honored to be part of this contest, and I will be first, and hopefully not the last. Okay, thank you again.
Thank you for your question, and please.
Thank you very much for this question. So there are two questions. First is what are the opportunities for students? Actually, in our project, let's say, project execution procedures, we have an opportunity for students as scholarships. And we just announced, actually, I think maybe 1 month ago, and we collected applications for 3 weeks or 4 weeks, I think. For example, we received over 1,000 applications for scholarship positions. Now we need to process them and select students for the scholarship, to provide scholarships. With this, we aim, or we would like to study for the next mission, which means landing missions, and also we would like to make them think about future challenges, as you said, because if there are unknowns, we need to use our imagination, maybe what can go wrong question we should ask, and think about what can go wrong and what kinds of measures we can take. So for the students, we will, let's say, engage with our lunar research program in terms of such studies. But in addition to that, so geology part is important, as you said, in terms of selecting target locations, and which I couldn't elaborate more, because when we select a target location, it is not only important to select a survival place, but also let's say, important in terms of resources and other sites to select. Currently, our project has been started 6 months, 7 months ago, and now we are in the phase of, let's say, finishing conceptual design, or we finished actually our conceptual design of our spacecraft, and now we are in the preliminary design phase. To do that, we also have a remote sensing department in our institute, and we ask them that what kind of sites that we can, impact our spacecraft, not soft land, but impact. So, but with that, we try to identify some sites, but these are not finalized yet. And up to this point, we also selected our payloads in our spacecraft. So we know that what kind of data we can get and how we can elaborate, or how we can make use of this data. And we would like to ask this question to our scientists, geology groups, and we are aware of geology science group, especially for planetary science. We have the list of many professors now, but we wanted to make sure that all the equipment and payloads are settled down. So we will ask, what can we do with this payload in terms of exploration? So I think in the next phases of our project, we will have some maybe meetings to elaborate such points and select a maybe more specific and most valuable target to land. I hope it explained a little bit. Thank you.
Thank you again. Actually, we are running out of time. And I would like to thank the panelists by heart for this fresh discussion, and also the participants for their really well qualified questions. And I don't think that there is another questions left. And now we are closing the panel. And thank you for all of your contribution. And I think we will meet in other international organizations while talking about the future of Turkey and the future of space and the world as a whole. And I would like again thank to all organizers for this really well classified organization. And thank you again for being there.
Thank you all for this fruitful session, and we are really glad that you came. And I also want to thank you for all your precious questions. The event will continue with Mr. Robert Zobrin's speech, Why Mars, after the lunch break. So see you in 12:30.